both of those are with the Canon EF mount. Well, I'd go with the first one. Okay, perfect. Good luck. See ya. So maybe you've outgrown your kit lens and you're looking to upgrade, but what exactly makes a lens a great pick for videography? There's a couple of key things that I look for if I'm buying or if I'm recommending a lens to someone and they're gonna use it for video. So I figured, what a great topic. This here is the Sigma 18-35, and some of you may have heard about this lens already. It's an incredibly popular lens among videographers, and that's because it kind of checks a lot of boxes. So let's take a look at the boxes. One of the first things that I look at is aperture, and I typically never recommend a lens with less than a 2.8 aperture for video because you're gonna need some fast glass. Maybe you like blurry backgrounds or you shoot a lot in slow motion, but most of all for all the low light situations, because you can't do long exposure video or shoot video with a flash. Next up, focal length. Now, wide angle lenses are by far the most common lens type used for video, and I like to be somewhere around 18 to 24 mm if I'm shooting on my APS-C cameras. That usually gives me enough room in the frame for everything. Some of you may have shot some video with the nifty 50, and if you have, you know how difficult it can be to get nice looking stable footage with a longer lens like that. Now, most wide-angle lenses don't have any IOS or image stabilization, but the wider field of view usually smoothens out any camera shakes or micro jitters. And if your hands are a bit shaky like mine, you could always try to add some subtle movement by swaying a little back and forth like this, and that usually helps. And now the problem with zoom lenses. You see, most zoom lenses have a variable aperture, and this works great for photography, but for video, you might not be able to utilize that entire zoom range, because when you start turning your zoom wheel, your aperture and your exposure is going to change. So you might go from perfectly exposed to either under or overexposed. Let me show you. So this here is a lens with a variable aperture, and as you can see, we're at 18mm and f3.5. Now, if we zoom in to 55, we're all of a sudden at f5.6. And as you can see, we're now a bit underexposed. So let's zoom back out again and set the aperture to 5.6 so we can compare how much light and exposure we're losing. So on your left, you've got the exposure you would get at 18mm. And on your right, the exposure you get at 55. And as you can see, there's quite a big difference. So imagine if you're shooting a project where you want to start with a nice wide angle shot at 18mm, and then you want to move in and do some tighter close-up shots at 50 or 55. The problem here now is that you won't have matching exposures or matching levels. So that's why most videographers prefer to use zoom lenses with a fixed aperture, like the Sigma 18-35. Now, the fixed aperture allows you to keep a constant exposure and aperture throughout the entire zoom range. So if you want to do the same shot, you can just move in and your levels, your exposure and everything should stay the same. I would rather have a lens with this feature, the fixed aperture, than a lens with optical image stabilization, because it's going to be much easier to stabilize some footage in post than to kind of deal with shifting exposure and different levels and all that. The sad news is that fixed aperture zooms are much more expensive than those with variable aperture, but if you're shooting on APS-C or Super 35, you can get away quite cheap, or you could simply turn to prime lenses. So prime lenses don't have this problem with variable aperture, since there's no zoom. And prime lenses are also usually cheaper, sharper, and faster than most zoom lenses. So I always recommend videographers getting a good wide-angle prime if they can't afford a decent fixed aperture zoom. Autofocus. So I almost wanted to skip this part of the video because I see a lot of people more worried about things like autofocus noise than actual image quality and performance. And if that's you, then my suggestion is that you invest in a wireless lavalier system or maybe switch to manual focus, because most lenses are gonna make some noise when you use the autofocus. And sure, newer lenses are more quiet than older ones, but try not to make it a problem before it's an actual problem, because that's gonna reduce the amount of options you have if you're looking for a really good lens for video. Well, I hope you learned something, and if you did, don't be afraid to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're one of those cool kids, you know, that subscribe to different YouTube channels and stay out late and all that, and you subscribe to this channel, then I guess I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye, and thank you for watching.